Today we're framing this very beautiful map of the islands of Jamaica and Barbados. And I can show you that on the other side of the map, we have this text description of the islands. Now, we can pinpoint the date this was published to the late 17th century because it says at the very end of the text, the present governor of this island, in this case they're talking about Jamaica, for His Majesty of Great Britain is Sir Thomas Lynch. Now, a quick internet search showed me that Thomas Lynch served for England in Jamaica beginning in 1670, and he died in Jamaica in 1684. Now, when I flip it back over, we can see that the text from the back is showing through to the front of the map, and it's a bit distracting. Thankfully, I have a little trick that is going to help with this. Now, if I take a dark background and put it underneath the map, it greatly minimizes the amount of the text that's showing through. You can still see it a little bit, but it's reduced quite a bit, and I think it looks much better this way. You can see as I'm sliding this, hopefully you can see that the text is not nearly as noticeable with the dark background. Now I've prepared another map, and so I can transfer this one over. And I'll put this one away. So I should mention that not just any dark mat will do, not any dark paperboard. What we need is a conservation grade board. And so here we have a gray, solid gray rag board. And when I say rag board, what I mean is that the board is made from 100% cotton rather than normal paper, which would be made from wood pulp. And so cotton is naturally free of the impurities that can degrade and turn into acid over time, which is damaging for the paper. The gray on this particular mat is also designed so that it's not going to rub off onto the back of the map in this case. Now, because the map looks a little bit darker overall when it's on the gray background, I've selected a new matte color, and the new matte is also a little bit darker. It's a creamier color, and it's a bit more of an off-white than the previous matte. I think the color looks really good with the map, and you can see the old one next to it here. So a bit darker and a bit creamier. Now our goal here is to preserve and display this map as best as we can. So we are going to use UV filtering glass, and that's going to help us to preserve it. You can see here that the inks, despite being over 300 years old, all the colors are really quite vibrant still, and you can see the nice red, it's a bright coral red, the yellows, really all the colors look quite great. It's quite impressive. So I can show you the glass that we're using, and this is the anti-reflective UV filtering glass here. It has a coating on, an anti-reflective coating on both sides, and that greatly minimizes the amount of glare that's visible. And you can tell, especially when I hold this sample of regular glass next to it, that the regular glass has a lot more glare. So the anti-reflective glass is very pretty, and it also allows you to see the fine details in the map very easily. So the other feature that I mentioned with this glass is that it filters out 99% of ultraviolet light, and I can demonstrate this by sliding the glass over a little bit, and then I can show you that my Post-it note here will fluoresce very brightly under this UV flashlight, but once I slide it under the glass, you can see that it eliminates the glow completely. So we can see that it's very effective at eliminating the ultraviolet light. And so now I'm going to take this apart, and I guess before I do that, I can show you the frame that my client selected. Just grab this carefully. All right, so what he went with here is a beautiful gold frame. It has a traditional laurel leaf and laurel berries pattern, and it's ornate, but without being too ostentatious. So I think it's going to look really good once we're finished the project. And now I'm going to take it apart and start the hinging process. Perhaps I can talk about that a little bit in another video sometime. And I'm also going to be daydreaming about drinking some peanut punch and eating some plantain somewhere on an island in the sun. That's it for today. This is Patrick signing off.